Sorry, the music gets me pumped. What's up, guys? So, as you can see, it's not a tough takes with Blake kind of night. But we're going to talk everything about Joe Biden. If you don't watch the mainstream media, well, you're in luck because I'm going to give you a rundown of everything going on, not only in this country but worldwide. What's up, Vance? Good to see you. But before we begin this show, there's going to be a lot of videos tonight. We're going to show you, highlight everything. What's up, Ken and Joni? How are you guys? Make sure you guys are all hitting that heart and like button and sharing this out there. But the special guest is here. And before, how do I say this? You guys might not like this guest. I'm just gonna, you might not like this guest, but you know what? Here she is. I think she's muted. She's muted. She's definitely
I am.
muted.
I wasn't talking. I was dancing. I don't have to be unmuted to dance.
Kaylee's here. Welcome, Kaylee.
Hey.
So, if you want to give an update of your dad really quickly, and then we'll jump into all of this. So,
yes, my dad he just finished his third chemo treatment. So we are at the halfway mark. He has a total of 6. He's doing really well with the chemo treatment. And actually, it's just his white blood cell booster shot that he gets 2 days after his chemo treatment that has been giving him fits. Otherwise, he's done really, really well. So keep praying for my dad, you guys. I really feel like it's working. When we started this process, his PSA levels were greater than 2,000, which is off the charts, and you cannot even determine. A normal PSA level is a number 4. Okay, so he was greater than 2,000. It should be 4. We got his PSA back Monday, and it's now at 209. So that's huge. It means what we're doing is working. So what's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's so great to see all of you.
see, they don't get to experience. I mean, I still get to talk to you every day, but they don't get the interaction from you. So they're getting their dose of Kaylee. But she is, news updates and stuff like that on Telegram come from Kaylee. So if you guys are not following us on Telegram, you guys need to make sure you're following us on there. PT Patriots on Telegram. Share with all your friends, everything. But let's get started. Dive in. The title of this is Joe Biden. Don't frown it. Don't down it, because that, it makes Facebook, or should I call it Meta? Meta is beta. That's what I think. A whole bunch of beta males running Meta. But they're changing their name, if you guys didn't catch on to that. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was this eerie, creepy video put out by Mark Zuckerberg. Just watch. It's creepy. Like, what? There's no sound, but like, what is happening? He's so weird. It's weird. I feel like he's an alien. Like, he looks like an alien. Like, there's just something weird. Like, there's like, like when someone just has no emotion, that man shows no emotion. Like, it's creepy.
He's creepy.
It's like super, super creepy. But guys, the title of this is Joe Biden. Obviously, I'm not a fan of that man whatsoever. But I just want to go back and talk about different things that he's doing. It's probably going to piss a lot of you off. But if you guys didn't see, we updated on Telegram, but they're going to be giving, this is crazy. Biden administration is they're talking because they're so desperate to get the immigrant vote. It's so desperate. They're going to offer immigrant families separated at the border $450,000 a person. Kaylee, ditch our social security cards. Let's go to the southern border, cross it, and then just come back.
I mean, I am game, bro.
Well, you have to be separated from me.
Okay. Yeah. And
so,
we can just pick a kid like they do, and say, that's my kid,
Right.
And then just walk across.
And then we'll sue the government for separating us.
Right.
As we're coming there illegally. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. The Department of Justice and Homeland Security and Health and Human Services are considering payouts that could even amount to $1 million a family. So, Kaylee, we could retire. Like, we're really good. According to the people familiar with the matter, several agencies are working to resolve lawsuits filed by parents saying the government subjected them to lasting psychological trauma when families were split up after they crossed the border illegally.
Meanwhile, my children are literally recovering from subjected trauma due to this stupid pandemic. So if anybody should be getting paid, it should be parents of all these kids whose kids are struggling right now because they were out of school for a year and now they're like,
the average American middle class person doesn't make six figures, and they're going to give these people $450,000, almost potentially $1 million to each family. Yeah. You're out of your ever loving mind. This is disgusting. Why is this happening? It's just, why is this even talked about? When you're coming to a country illegally and you want to sue them because you came there illegally, tell me where else that happens in the entire world. Nowhere. And just to go even further, guys, on to Joe Schmo Biden. Kaylee, do you want to bring up the picture where he's going next? Because it's
yes, I do.
The latest update, guys. Next stop, Rome. I really thought it said retirement home, but I guess it's Rome, so they're going to Rome next. So,
no, we were hoping it was retirement home,
right?
But no such luck. Why the heck is our president going to Rome?
How can he go to Rome but not the southern border?
That's my question.
Anyhow, we're going to fact check Joe Biden live with video proof. Liberals love to ignore, love to ignore video. They're like, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen. That was
whether it's 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 20. I don't, how many years has he been there? 4 decades. He says the things he says. Words have meaning. Actions have meaning. And I'm going to show you what this man said, and it's just repulsive. It's like repulsive. Beijing Biden flat out lied at the Martin Luther King Memorial the other day. He said he was involved in the civil rights movement. This is false. And I'm going to show you why. He was a lifeguard, the only white lifeguard in a black neighborhood. That does not make you an activist, Joe Biden. But here, I'll show you what he said at the MLK Memorial. Here we go.
And they're following my predecessor, the last president, into a deep, deep black hole and abyss. No, I really mean it. Think about it. This is what got me involved in civil rights as a kid when I was 26 years old.
He said he got involved when he was 26 years old as an activist. But, rewind.
During the 60s, I was, in fact, very concerned about the civil rights movement. I was not an activist. I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved in what they were thinking, what they were feeling. I was involved, but I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else. I was a suburbanite kid who got a dose of exposure to what was happening to black Americans when I, in my own city, worked there, one of the only white employees, the only white lifeguard in this 13 or 14 lifeguards, to find out that many of these guys lived in that city their whole life, a small city, and never knew a white man. It was a revelation to me.
Can I just say that I think that it's physically impossible for Joe Biden to have a revelation? I'm just putting my 2 cents out there, okay? I don't think it's possible for him to have a revelation. I don't even know that he knows what a revelation means.
I'm just impressed he could say the word.
That's true. I should give him brownie points for that. Good job, Joe.
Isn't it crazy, though, how back then he didn't have a stutter, but now he does have a stutter? Okay. Weird flex, but okay.
Anyway.
But guys, next topic we're going to talk about tonight is New York. There's a lot of stuff focused around New York, and then we're going to hop over to Virginia and talk about what's going on there. It's super important. So there's a lot of different things. Weird stuff. Cuomo is going to be charged with forcibly touching aide, expected to be arrested next week. Hallelujah. #MeToo movement. You're disgusting. He killed people in nursing homes. Like, I don't know what else to say. But that's like a good thing about New York. The bad thing about New York is the mandates. New York firefighters, EMS, NYPD, and other municipal workers protest against the vaccine mandates. We have a clip of this woman who spoke there. I think it's really, really important. Not a lot of mainstream media coverage, but it's happening. There are large gatherings, and more people need to get out there and support. And everything this woman says is 100% spot on.
Today, we stand united on one cause. Firefighters, fire officers, EMS, fire dispatchers, others affinity groups of the FDNY, sanitation, DSNY, NYPD, my brothers and sisters, we want common cause to stand for freedom to choose. The ability to choose. Give me a second, I'll be done. The ability to choose is our God-given right, our free will, the right to choose for ourselves, our families, our loved ones. This is our bodies, not yours. We worked through this pandemic over a year. We worked tirelessly, long hours, without fear, boldly, took care of us, the citizens of the city of this New York. We answered countless calls, countless EMS emergencies, and other emergencies to keep the city safe. We are citizens of the United States of America, New Yorkers.
I mean, she's spot on. We live in the United States of America. We are American citizens. And one thing we know about New Yorkers, regardless of their political affiliation, New Yorkers are resilient, very adaptable, can adjust, but this is something that they're not going to be able to adjust to. And don't you think it's funny how all these nurses, cops, firefighters, EMS were heroes? Everyone was, give them free donuts, give them coffee. I'm going to buy someone's coffee. Now they're throwing them to the curb and saying, you're a murderer because you won't get the... Are you that naive and just ignorant? Like, come on. We literally went from heroes to zero. We were put on this pedestal of, while everyone did stay home, majority of Americans did stay home. I wasn't lucky to do that. I was fearful for my life when everyone was scared at the beginning of this pandemic. I went out and I did it because I knew that was my job. I knew it was my responsibility. I knew I had a job to do. And now we're thrown to the wayside and saying, find another job, do something else. It's sick. It's so sick. But I'm proud that New Yorkers are showing up. You won't see this on mainstream media. There was a large group of anti-mandate protests. I'm going to show this clip here. Hopefully these protests continue to increase in size and numbers. I think it's super, super, super important. Also, I want to, Colleen, did you hear about they're going after our military now? If you guys are following us on Telegram, late last night, sorry for everyone for blowing up your phones, I showed a breakdown of what they're doing to our Navy. Inside documents, emails, who's auditing the religious exemptions. Guys, go back to yesterday, last night, probably around 10 or 11. Go in there and read it. Go in there and, it's a lot of information. It might be confusing, but I tried to narrow it down as easy as I possibly could. It's wrong what they're doing. It's wrong. It's very wrong. So make sure you go and read that. I did talk about the military. I think it's awful. Amen to that, Glenda. Our troops do need us. It's a crucial time in America's history where we have to choose freedom. And, a lot of people aren't anti-vaccine. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm anti-mandated vaccine. I have natural antibodies. I believe in natural immunity because that's real. I don't know where in science we just didn't recognize that. For all of you that don't follow me on my personal page, my mom's been doing her own independent study. She was infected with COVID in December. She had teeth pain, very mild symptoms. My dad was coughing. My sister had a cough and that was it. Got short of breath when she walked up the steps. But she's doing her own independent study. She has antibodies still. We're almost to November. 11 months. They say it wanes after 90 days. Well, my mom is going on 11 months strong. My question to the scientists and the researchers and everybody out there, why aren't you looking at the individuals that have mild reactions or very light reactions to COVID? Look at what is in their body that makes their body be able to fight this. That's what I feel like we should be putting our energy into, not spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on a vaccine. Why don't we look at what's happening in these people's bodies to make it so that they don't get severely ill or die from COVID?
You know why, right? Yeah. Because they really don't care.
They don't care.
It makes
And
more money to make a vaccine and mandate it and force it on everybody. That's why. Because they
And
really
while we're on the topic of this, ignoring science, if you don't, it doesn't fit your agenda, doesn't mean it isn't real. So the Swedish total population cohort study of the COVID-19 vaccine effectiveness shows. Here's some bullet points for you if you want to pause the video as I say each bullet point to talk about. Protection from infection below 50% after 4 months. So after 4 months, it's below 50%, when the efficacy they said was 90 to 95%. It's all the way down to 50% after 4 months. No protection measurable after 7 months. And that was with the Pfizer vaccine. So 0 protection after 7 months of getting the Pfizer vaccine. Hence why they're issuing all these boosters. But my question, I don't believe that a vaccine is effective if you have to get 5 of them in a year.
The problem with this entire situation is that for a vaccine to be effective, we need time. We're pushing this thing out the door and we're like, yeah, this will be it. It's going to be great. It's going to be fabulous. We haven't had enough time. Like literally it's 10 years minimum to get something right.
Now they want to approve it for 5 to 11-year-olds. And they said, well, what are the long-term effects? He said, we won't know until we do it.
I'm sorry. You know, I talked to Lucas about this and I said, that is the hill I will literally die on. If they try to force my child to get this, that's it. That's where the uproar comes in because it's not happening, period. They're not going to be lab rats. And
they literally, he came out and said it. He said, we won't know until we do it. Because there isn't time, y'all. And I don't care what this, time matters. The average length of an effective vaccine to be put out on the market is in the United States, 11 to 13 years. We're not even 2 years completely into this pandemic. And now you want me to put something into my 5 or 11-year-old niece or nephew? I'm just, when the risk of them dying from COVID is very, very small. And people say, okay, well, what about transmission? I'm sorry, and this might be cruel of me. I care about every human life, like every single human life. But in me, and this is just my personal opinion, I have a hierarchy. Like, if 2 people are dangling over a cliff and one's a 3-year-old and one's an 87-year-old, I'm sorry, but I'm saving the 3-year-old. Like, if I can only save one. And I'm not saying I want one or the other to die, and that doesn't need to happen. There are other things out there. But I care more, like, to me, and how I rationalize that is an 80-some-year-old has lived their life. Yeah, could they live to be 100? Sure. But that kid hasn't even lived to 10. So that's what I like. Like, it doesn't stop transmission. So therefore it's not protecting grandma. So there's no rational reason behind why they need to make sure. There have been more kids in America that have committed suicide in this last year than have died from COVID-19 during the entire pandemic. But no one wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. That is a fact.
That's the real truth, because I'm literally, my teenager is struggling so bad right now because of all of this. Because of everything that's happened, struggling to stay motivated because he was out of school for so long. Like, it is a real thing and nobody's talking about it. Nobody. And if they do, they go to school board meetings and they talk about it, and then they call us domestic terrorists for having our children's best interests in mind. So.
And now he's under fire, the head of the DOJ, the School Board Association. People are like, the organizations like Ohio left. They're not a part of that anymore. They're distancing themselves from them. And it's just going to take more people to sit up and say, okay, we've had enough. We're done. We're done. And I think that's where America's at, is regardless of, and like, I've never denied COVID, and I know some people on here would deny COVID and say that it's not real and that, you know, and all these things. That's not true. Like, they're like, come on, like, people, even if people say it's just the flu, okay, when did just the flu kill X amount of people? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not a reality. And I know people, loved ones. Kaylee almost lost Lucas. Like, we all went through that. I was texting him. He didn't even have the energy to text me. I have never denied COVID. No, and neither has Kaylee. But like at some point, life has to go on. And we cannot continue to live in fear. We cannot continue to be afraid because as Christians, God tells us fear not. And that's just something I'm not going to be fearful. We can take precautions. You can do things to help improve your immune system. But do you get that scared every time you go out and get in the car? I know your chances of, are a lot higher with COVID than, getting on a car, but it's not far off.
I'm not sure about that.
You're right. Can you imagine if we lived our life living off of statistics and what we see on TV? There's a real fear of people who are scared of guns. Like someone could have a box with a gun in it, and people are scared that gun is going to shoot them, even though
Yes.
like it's because that's what the media has trained them, and they show statistics and data and stuff like that. I believe this is true. I believe that the vent, definitely with the vent. A lot of people go on the vent. They're given remdesivir. I mean, there's so many studies out there. It's just being ignored. And right now, I'm working from home and I'm waiting on a religious exemption because they're mandating because we're federally funded. So I want everyone to pray for me. But like, it's insane. Like I work from home. Like I literally work right here. And unless I get it from my dogs going to the dog park, I think I'm good. Like, I'm not really sure. But yes, Jennifer perfectly said, we can both take it seriously and not live in fear. Yes. Just because we're not pro-vaccine mandate or pro-vaccine, or we just believe in it, doesn't mean we're pro-COVID. And I just think that's crazy. Jeanette, I will always talk about youth suicide and do what I can to network with you. Youth mental health is suffocating our kids. It truly is. Need to focus on treatments other than the vaccine at this point. Guys, I don't care. I posted this on my personal page. I wish, if you guys follow me and Kaylee on our personal page, that's great too. We share a lot of other information that we don't necessarily put on here. Monoclonal antibodies. Share this out. Share this far and wide. Early treatment is crucial. Early treatment is crucial. Do not wait until you can't breathe and then say, hey, can I get that infusion? No. My grandma, double vaccinated, got COVID on Friday. It was late Friday, so she couldn't get in there and get it. She was still sick, not feeling good. Got in on Monday, monoclonal antibody treatment. By Wednesday, great. She was good. Good. She was good. But she was starting to deteriorate. She wasn't feeling good, coughing, not feeling her best self. Of all the people that I've known that I've helped advocate for and had them get monoclonal antibody treatments quick, soon, and fast, have all lived. Kaylee is a prime example. Kaylee, if you feel like sharing a little bit about your medical history and why,
Well, Lucas was actually in the hospital, like near death, when I tested positive for COVID. It was on a Sunday night because I got in there as fast as I could. As soon as I had one symptom, I was like, I'm getting tested because I've been around him. The following Monday, I signed up to be in a study for the monoclonal antibody infusion for people who would have minor side effects from COVID. I was able to get in that. They were not giving monoclonal antibody infusions regularly to just anybody. I was able to get in that Tuesday. I got the infusion, and the only symptoms that I experienced at all was my loss of taste and smell for 2 weeks. That was it. Praise the Lord.
But timing is so crucial. And they say you can get it 10 days. I promise you, if you're deteriorating and you're not feeling good and you're starting to feel like really run down and tired, don't wait. I'm telling you, come up with a plan. And shout out to Shirley if she's watching this. She has she is coming up with a plan, and I advocate for everybody. And if you need help finding a resource or a location where you live, never hesitate to reach out to me. I see so many people on here that I'm friends with that I wish I could have helped them. I'm seeing their parents, their aunts, uncles that are fighting it. And I wish I could be there to help advocate, because every person that has reached out to me and said, hey, I want to get this, I've got them in. I have found a way to get them in. Whether I have to call 300 times, that's how I'm going to advocate. I'm a nurse. So that's how I'm going to advocate for each and every single one of you. I can't make medical decisions for you, but I can try to potentially help you get resources that will help you live. And that's what the goal of everybody should be.
Shirley, I would say as soon as you get that positive test, call and schedule to have the infusion. That's exactly what I did. I scheduled as soon as I could. I got online the same night and I was like, okay, I can do this, and signed up for it. As soon as you get a positive test, just get it. So you don't even have to worry about it and you experience very little symptoms. That would be my advice.
Shirley, they say that you have 10 days to get the monoclonal antibody treatment. Like if you're past 10 days, then they will no longer give it. But I see a lot of people get it late and have bad, and it's not like it speeds up. It's just at some point your body goes in that cytokine storm. And so therefore your body, it's like immune system response, and some people just can't handle it. So I just encourage you. And guys, if you need help, never hesitate. And even if you reach out to Kaylee, who connects with me or whatever, my goal and everybody's goal should be to keep people alive. And I will do everything.
I have had several people reach out to me, and I've sent them in the direction that they need to go. So please do not feel like you're bothering either of us. We are here to help you. If you need help, if you need pointed in the right direction, whatever it is, we're here for you guys.
And like I said, we would never give medical advice. We don't give medical advice, but per the CDC, in regards to people, it's a 70% reduction hospitalizations and deaths if monoclonal antibody treatments are giving effective soon. That's fact. So if I can help someone get in and get that, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to keep advocating for it. And it doesn't matter your vaccination status. My grandma was vaccinated, still needed to get the monoclonal antibodies. So it doesn't matter. Make sure you have a plan with your doctor, get something in play. And then also another suggestion that I have for everybody is exercise. I know you won't see this on TV. I know you won't see this advocated. Eat healthy, exercise, and make sure you're taking your vitamins. I know that it's so hard. And, we fall into that thing where we just forget every day. Oh, crap, I forgot my vitamins. Oh, I forgot. Make it a point. And I really
say this. My dad, we've kind of figured out that he's had his cancer since probably 2019, just because of the progress of everything that's happened. He got COVID. I'm convinced he never got tested, but he got COVID around the same time that we did. And he's been taking high doses of vitamin C for the last 15 years. He takes daily vitamins. I swear to you guys, the vitamins that he takes, even with cancer, saved his life from being taken by COVID. I swear. His symptoms were very minor. He got through it well. He's in really good shape, like physically. He takes care of himself. He drinks a lot of water. I really think that's why he did okay with it. I do.
And I'm just reading some of these comments. Thank you, Terry. It is crazy because I'm not tooting my own horn, but being a nurse is what I feel like I was called to do on this earth, and what I am supposed to be doing. And so when something I've worked so hard for, guys, I'm literally graduating in December with a dual master's with a focus in nursing and leadership. So I have dedicated my entire adult career, education, lifelong learning to be a nurse and to better lives. And for someone to say, pick a different career, this isn't going to work. It's just not sitting well with me. It's just not. And I know there's many nurses out there who are really great nurses who would do anything for their patients. And what I'm scared is that they're losing some really good nurses. And I'm really fearful for a lot of you who are going to have those self-righteous nurses who think they know it all, who think they know everything about, and they don't listen to you. You mothers out there, when you say something's wrong with my kid and the nurse looks at you and goes, they're fine, but they're really not fine because mother intuition is real. You're going to be stuck with those nurses. You're going to be stuck with those nurses who says, yeah, I saw that call light on, but the aid's going to get it. It's just, that stuff can't happen. But that's what's going to be happening. You're going to be stuck with those nurses who do not genuinely care. They're there for a paycheck, and that's all they're there for. They think they know everything. The biggest thing, and here's the thing, I've been very neutral on this, and so has Kaylee. If you get the vaccine, that's fine. If you don't get the vaccine, that's fine. I love all of you. You're all human to me. I don't look at you any differently. And if more people in this country realize that just because you're not getting the vaccine doesn't mean you're pro-COVID. I've heard that multiple times. It does not mean you're pro-COVID. As somebody who believes in natural immunity and our response to it, that's science. And I'm scared to think, and it's not even that, I'm scared to think what's going to happen next, because we've been through so much in 11 months. I'm scared to see what happens next because it's very, very scary. It's a weird precedence. And I really pray that you guys are with good doctors and are seeking proper care from people who are listening to you. That's what I like. I really hope that you guys are finding people in healthcare that truly, truly care about your health, because it can make or break. And when push comes to shove, it could be the moment that you live or die. And I just really hope that you guys are really, really establishing relationships with your doctors and you have a great, great, great relationship with them. I think it's super, super important. But to end on a good note, Florida, Ron DeSantis, the man, the myth, the legend, sues Biden over the contractor vaccine mandate. I don't think he's going to be the only state to do that. Love him. Alabama, the governor, Ivy, I think they call her Meemaw. She said, don't follow the mandate. It's going to take people to stand up. It's going to take courageous men and women in this country to stand up. It's going to take people who are going to let their voices be heard, because at some point this has to stop. This tyrannical, fascist, communistic ideology that is pushing throughout the United States of America has to stop. I mean, another story really quickly talking about Florida. A Florida, what was she? A school board member went on a field trip with kids, grade school kids, to a gay club. And she was so proud that they all went to go to the gay club. So like, it's scary. Like you have to push back. And regardless of what the DOJ says, you advocating and being on the front lines of what your kids are being educated on at school is your right to know. You have every right to know what your kids are being taught. Your tax dollars pay for those wages, those salaries, everything. You have every single right to know what your children are being taught at school.
Seriously, you guys, if there's one piece of advice I can give you, it's don't back down when it comes to your kids. I don't care what they say to you. I don't care what ways they try to scare you. I don't care about any of that. These are your children and they are your responsibility. So it is absolutely 100% your right to have involvement in their education, to have involvement in everything that they do in their life. Otherwise, they're going to be left to the hands of woke people, and everything woke turns to shit.
It does. And guys, inflation's on the rise. But here's the thing. I know, as much as, as Christians, we know the meaning of Christmas. We get it. But we do like to give each other gifts. I love giving gifts. I love to give gifts. And I know that's not what Christmas is about, but it's something that you do because you care about your loved ones. And I know that my loved ones wouldn't be upset if I wasn't able to get, it's just something that I love to do. I think what positive things can come out of this is if people can't afford as much for Christmas, or you can't, do what you usually do. I think this is a true moment for Christians and people around the world to really focus on the true meaning of what Christmas is about. Spending time with your loved ones. Over the past 2 years, we know that life is precious, life is short, and you never know what could happen. And I think if we really focus on the true meaning of Christmas and the true meaning of family and your friends, I feel like this isn't such a bad thing, because I think it's a time of reflection. And I think I was annoyed at first. I'm like, okay, maybe I won't be able to get the stuff that I ordered, Amazon, Kohl's, whatever. But I'm like, it's not about that. It truly isn't about that. And you get to see the true meaning, and you enjoy it so much more because the gift is the presence of the people you love and cherish. That's what in the birth of Jesus Christ, that's what is amazing. And I think it's important. So as much as this is a bad thing and it stinks that people can't get the things that they usually get, we can turn something into a positive and focusing and reflecting on things that truly do matter in our lives. So I hope you guys got a lot of information from this. Kaylee, we have to listen. We have to keep doing this. I know you're busy, but people.
I know we do. I'm reading all the comments and I'm like, seriously, I love this. I mean, it's just, this is my this is my family right here, you know?
Right.
I love talking with you guys. I love hearing what you have to say. Obviously, I can't hear you, but I can read it. And I love all of you. And I swear to you, I'm going to try. It's just crazy. It's just so crazy. This was a treatment week. So like, thankfully my dad's doing good. And Blake was like, you want to come live with me? And I'm like,
Guys, not to mention this girl had to pick up her life in Ohio, move her kids to a whole new school district, literally probably 2 weeks after they just started school.
Yeah.
To a whole new school district, got a terrible diagnosis of her dad, had to move to Kansas, had to go to her dad's treatment, schedule appointments, go to all the specialists, all of that stuff, and be a mom, and be a wife, and help run PTP. It's only by the grace of God that she is literally smiling, because I would be like,
no, man, it's God. He is so good. That's it.
but
It's God at you guys. Seriously.
You guys will be seeing our faces a lot more. I'm kind of feeling out now that I've transitioned to my new job. I'm trying to figure it all out, but we will, and Skull. Bye. Goodbye. It's just, you'll be seeing us a lot more. And if you guys want to join us right after this, we are going to be on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com, it's one way you guys can support us, and we get to spend one-on-one time where we get to see your guys' faces on a Zoom call every Thursday. We've been doing that, probably for months now. It should be coming up on a year. So if you guys are wanting to join in and just talk and chat a little bit more with us, make sure you guys go over to Patreon and look for Primetime Patriots. We'll see you guys there. And also support our movement, guys, by going to www.primetimepatriots.org. Get these great Defund the Media shirts. What's Kelly got on? I thought I said defund the police. Defend the police. Defund the Democrats. But we love you guys. Thank you guys always so much for your support. And we will catch you guys whenever we come back, because I don't know when it might be tomorrow. We don't know. Maybe you'll get us 2 times in 1 week. I don't know. But we love you guys as always. God bless and have a great night, guys.